Blah. Okay. I need a transition screen. I need some master streamer to show me how that's done. Hello, welcome in. Please don't mind the noise in the background. Clay wonders why I don't use a area capture mic over here. But he's yelling, "I hate slappy hands." I think he's fighting Mr. Mime or Wigglytuff or something. So that's that's why no capture mic over there. But hello, welcome in, happy Thursday. I hope everyone's day was great. I hope everyone has a snack, a beverage, and is ready to make some stuff. My name is Warren, or Quake. Blue Yeti. Well, okay. That's more tech savvy than I have been yet. But I am so glad you are here. I hope you are ready to vibe out, I guess, and learn how to make some bread along with me, because I haven't made it before. So I'm learning too. It's so abrupt. I need to do those transition-y things. Anyway, oh, my scale turned off. I forgot how much was in here. Oh no, it preserved it. Oh good. Thank you. Thank you, scale, for being more on top of things than I am. So, I'm going to start off making cake batter for these lava cakes, because that cake batter needs to chill before it goes in the oven. Hello, welcome in, Bob. Nice to see you. Nice to read you, I suppose. Since you haven't been streaming, I hear you've been moving. I hope your move is going well. $140 grams. And these cakes are deceptively simple. They only have a few ingredients. But, I mean, the fewer things you have in it, the easier it is to, mess it up, I think, because there's nothing to hide behind. It's very simple, just chocolate cake. Although I am adding a little bit of espresso powder to it, because I have it. I don't like it. And of course, if you don't follow each other yet, both Hawk and Featherfall are both great streamers. Featherfall, of course, having several D&D shows that he does, and Hawk been streaming Sims and Toontown. I have all these pretty eggs over here. This looks white on the cam, but that's the real white one. This is bluey. It's kind of fun. I'm over here breaking my own rules, taking chances, cracking these eggs right into the bowl, hoping that they're all fresh and good still. I bought them from the farmer's market last week. So, I mean, they should be good. But I mean, that one time that you crack a not so great egg into things. Yes. We love our eggs. Even Mark loves eggs as long as he can't taste them. So I'm just going to froth this up. And Mark is going to scream back there. And I want to get a bunch of air into this because this is my my leavening. I'm not using any baking powder or anything. So all of the air that causes my cakes to rise is coming from my eggs. And that's what I'm doing right now. And as you whip it and whip it and whip it, it'll get lighter and lighter and lighter in color. And that's how you know you're getting air into it. And it'll get it kind of thick and drip off of your beaters in ropes. Nice and foamy. Yeah, I know, I'm cheating today. I'm using the mixer. My elbow's bothering me a little bit today, so I am taking the help of the mixer, giving my elbow a break. I will do some whipped cream by hand later, just to make CL happy. And I've already melted my butter and chocolate over here. So that is ready to go into my cake batter as soon as it has been all whipped up. I thought about putting a family-friendly tag on this CL, but I didn't know if I could control my chat since I'm not like sitting on the computer while I do this. It's hard to moderate. So maybe I could put the family tag on if Robo joins the stream at some point, because Clay certainly isn't doing any of the moderation duties. There we go. Yes, look how thick my eggs have become. The recipe actually says you can do this in a food processor, which is interesting. And it works. It just seems like not... I don't think of food processor when I think of, like, making cakes. So... You also know we've got a bunch of air in here because it is, like, doubled in volume, practically. So, that's how we know we've got a fair bit of air in there. Let's just set that aside. And so now that I've whipped all that air in there, I want to make sure I don't like knock it out. So I'm going to be gentle with it now. I'm going to get a whisk. I'm going to make sure this is nice and melted. And it's a little bit warm, so I don't want to pour it straight into the eggs because I don't want to cook the eggs right now. Or I don't want to just dump it in. That's what I mean. I want to pour it in nice and slow while whisking, just to make sure I'm not curdling anything and I get a nice smooth mixture. Okay, now that it's mostly in there, I can scrape out my container here. My container that I remembered to use ahead of time so I could get it in and out of the microwave nice and slow and low and melty and not scorching anything. Oh no. One cider gets something they don't eat. Yes, no chocolate scrambles. We don't like it. Yeah, because I want to be more gentle with it, so I don't knock air out of it. Now that I've worked a bunch of air into it, I'm not knocking it out. Keep it nice and light and floofy. And I've got some reserved chocolate over there. Now what am I doing? Flour and salt. That's a pinch of salt. And I should have weighed out my flour earlier. There's my scale. Just gonna use one of my ramekins because they're nice and ready for me. Hi, Clay. Yes, we were talking about it. Talking about how you hate the slappy hands. There we go. Nice and easy, and I'm just gonna fold that in. And it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth because we are going to chill this for a while so that flour will have plenty of time to hydrate itself in the mixture. And using the hand tool, we can make sure that we are scraping down all the sides and we don't have any loose clumps of anything in there. Okay. I was supposed to prepare my pans already. Let me chop this chocolate. So I'm also doing a little sneaky trick because I had some melted chocolate a while back, just hanging out in the fridge. And in case you want to not play around with partially baked cake, which is kind of what this is, it's only mostly baked, you can just dunk a little piece of chocolate in the middle of your cake and then you're sure to have a molten center. You can also do the same thing with like a little chilled scoop of caramel or raspberry sauce or whatever your favorite filling is. Cake and bread. Hi. You have a cape on, apparently. Oh, yes. With me. I haven't talked about cream yet. Well, now I have. But anyway. So, hopefully you don't mind getting dirty. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Because I'm just going to take a finger. I said it once, yes, but you said whenever I mentioned. So I figured you were kind of implying that I kept mentioning it. And I've only said it once. Anyway. So I'm just going to dollop some butter into here. And what I'm doing is kind of the same thing as a souffle. And I am bringing the butter up the sides to help it rise. Since there's only egg whites in there, I don't want to impede it. That'll help it rise up the ramekin. But it'll also make it so it slides out easier for me. Because these gotta come out in one lovely piece for me to get that nice effect. So make sure your bottom is buttered very well. What? Wow. Goodness. Family friendly indeed. I thought about it. Oh my goodness. Hello, Teo. Happy Thursday. I hope your day was good. It must have been because you were just playing Unite, so couldn't have been too stressful. I'm just over here buttering my ramekins, which is not code for anything. If you want to extra guarantee that your cakes slide right out of their containers, you can also shake a little bit of sugar around the buttered ramekin, and that'll help you. I'm not going to do that because I'm also going to put some powdered sugar on top when I serve them, just for looks, and I don't want a bunch of extra granulated sugar because I don't want it to be overwhelmingly sweet. How do you spell ramekin? Ramekin, I think, is ramekin. Anyway, now that your hands are nice and dirty, give them a rinse. And I can put my, let's see. So I'm going to put a scoop of mixture in each one. Then I'll put a little nugget of chocolate down in there. And then I will top it off. And using a scoop will just help you make sure that you have about the same amount in each container so they bake evenly, which is especially useful since my containers are not all the same size. Chocolate. Oh, now that Clay's actually at the computer, he can do some shoutouts for me. If you can give shoutouts to the lovely Featherfall, and of course Bandana Hawk. And Bosa's in here. Oh, hello, Bosa. Welcome in. I hope your day has been going well. I hope you're nice and chill and have a snack and a beverage. Yep, Thursday. Thursday is the regular cooking and baking day. Ooh, I can smell the espresso, which is lovely. Of course, now I want just to have an espresso in front of me. If Clay is listening, he could do that for me. Baking the horror. Thank you for the shoutouts, Clay. I appreciate it. One for Bosa too, if I didn't see that one. Brain tackled by migraine. No migraines. That's terrible. Hopefully you have some good rest time available to you. I don't need to wash these because I promised I would whip cream by hand later, so I don't need those. Hopefully you have good strong ibuprofen or something if you need it, or just rest. And actually caffeine can help for headaches if it's not too bad. Coffee with schnapps. Honestly, I wouldn't put schnapps in just regular coffee. Hello, obfuscation. Are you don't stream? Oh, was it just Ava bullying you that was shouting you out earlier? I don't know. Ava just shouts everyone out. He shouts out Clay all the time too, and Clay doesn't stream. So I never know. I also didn't prepare myself a spot in the refrigerator for a whole ass cookie sheet. No, I got it. There we go. Okay. So that's going to hang out for about an hour to chill down, because that'll also help us with the cold, get the center cold And then the outside will bake faster, which will help us keep the inside molten, giving us our lava cake effect. Oh good, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Can you have one and go great with your buzz? That's just Ava, I guess, though. Strawberry Angry Orchard. Yeah, we still do have cider in the fridge. CL brought some fridge over earlier. So, bread. I did a good, and I made my first batch of bread earlier, and I'll make a second batch as soon as I get this in the oven. So I made this in the morning. Because you can make it and leave it on the counter to rise for a few hours, but the recipe said it has better, deeper flavor if it rises in the fridge for 8 to 24 hours. So it got the 8 hours in the fridge because I made it this morning. And then I pulled it an hour ago to get it into this pan for a second rise, and so now I get to do the fun focaccia stuff. So I'm gonna make this a olive and rosemary focaccia. So I'm going to, well, let's before I get my hands involved, let's strip down some rosemary. Clay's going to take a trip to the brewery, apparently. Or the cidery? I guess it's called a cidery. Or is it still just called a brewery? I don't know. You still brew cider. Okay, and I'm just going to give this a real rough chop. Okay, and I want this to spread out nice and even to the corners. And then I'm going to throw... Who's rosemary? Why are we stripping them? Oh, goodness. Rosemary is the one plant that I have managed to not kill in the garden over many, many years. So there's my olives. I'm going to scatter over my rosemary. And sprinkle some salt. And then I need to dimple this. Tomato black pepper loaf. Ooh, that sounds delicious. I actually thought about that too, doing some like roasted sun-dried tomatoes in this, but I had other plans for tomatoes for dinner, so I'm doing the olive instead. So then I'm just it's called dimpling. I'm just putting my fingers down in, not tearing the bottom, but touching the bottom of the tray. And that's what's going to give you your, it's going to, work my olives down into the dough a little bit, but it's also going to give me that dimply, light focaccia texture, I believe. I saw some video on it once. I'm just kind of popping these little bubbles that are popping up. And then last thing is just to top it with a little bit more olive oil, and then into the oven when it dings. And the olive oil just runs into all those little crannies, nooks and crannies that you made. Nice. Yeah, I have coarse salt. I don't have flaky salt. The flaky salt would have been better, but that's what I have. I have some lemon coarse salt, but I wasn't trying to add more flavors to this. Just have to ask Hawk to spread. Ask nicely. Sounds like he would be a good kitchen assistant. Ooh. Ah. Stay hydrated, folks. So now I can show you how I made the bread. Because I'm going to make a second batch that is going to be thinner and more neutral flavored, because I want to use it for like jam. So I've got some, yes, my water is still warm. And again, this dough is really simple. It's just the process that can trip you up. Cider is not hydrating, oh my goodness. So I have hot water so I can melt my honey, but then I'm going to add some cold water so that it's not so hot that it kills my yeast. I'm going to whisk my yeast into here. Or whisk my honey in. See, I was going to bring me some flaky salt. But the bread's already going to be baked and done by then. Now I'm going to add my yeast. Oh, whoops. Don't want to add my yeast yet. I just said that this water is too hot for my yeast. And I almost just threw it right in. Killed that poor organism. I want it to work for me before I kill it. Okay. Get some cool water. Right? I think anyone would be lucky to live with Rod. It's kind of Clay's situation. He lives with me, and I cook all the stuff. Although usually it's him making the bread, so it's just a anomaly. He has not made any bread lately. And of course, I've never made focaccia before, so I felt like it. We would need twice as big of a kitchen, though, because I like my space. I mean, you see me shove Clay away when he comes in and tries to find snacks while I'm working. That just needs to sit for 5 minutes so the yeast can start working. And I can clean up my board a little bit. I don't need a beverage. I have beverages, but thank you. Well, who's guest appearances? I have offered if people wanted to come by and bake with me. Because if I'm expecting someone in the kitchen and I have made space for them and cleaned up counter space so we're not trying to share, then yes, that would be fine. Made cheesecake? What kind of crust and what kind of filling was in your cheesecake? Because I was watching some TikToks earlier and someone was making some, like, horrible recipes from the 30s, and there was like a pickle cheesecake. Had no sugar. It had cream cheese and sour cream and a bunch of chopped pickles and a pretzel crust. So, is that the guy's name that does that? Yes, he did. What else did he do? He did something else, and he's like super gay about it too, right? I think. Yes. And it was it was cursed. It was a cursed cheesecake. So hopefully you did not make cursed cheesecake, Joey. Gluten-free graham that sunk. Oh, so you tried to make it up the sides. I usually don't do crust up the sides because I don't know. It's just not how I do it. I've done it before. I do it when I'm not doing a no bake cheesecake. I'll do the crust up the sides, and but you have to make it really thick, and so it's not like sometimes it's too thick for the filling. Have goat cheese. Interesting. And just plain goat cheese because I've got like honey goat cheese in the fridge. That's sweet, and I've also got lemon goat cheese. That seems like it would work pretty well. Figs and honey and olive oil. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So a very like Greek kind of inspired cheesecake. Now I'm thinking about and that's the one thing I won't haven't even tried. Yes, honey goats and lemon goats. Oh, I saw her book in the store the other day, and I thought about buying it. I don't tend to buy cookbooks because things are so widely available online. But if there's someone that's especially good, like I've got the Bouchon cookbook, I've got like one of the Great British Bake Off cookbooks, one of the winners that had a really good one, and I saw Claire Sappitz's book, and I was like, I should buy this. But we were in Southern California at a shop, and I'm like, I don't have any room in my bag to pack this, so. I guess that's true. Clay says I don't need to buy it because we have a subscription to New York Times, and so we can just get the recipes off there. But it's kind of a nice book. It's like a nice coffee table book, like the Bouchon book. It's just really nice to have out because it's large and really well done, and it's pretty and sturdy. Ooh. Okay, so my yeast is starting to foam, which is good. I know it's alive. Your Bon Appetits? I probably don't, because I would say that I would want to thumb through them, but then I would never do it, and the magazines would just sit and clutter the house, which we have enough clutter right now. But thank you. I think my mom also got like a bunch of I think she got what was it? She got some sort of food magazine subscription for her birthday from her neighbor. So I've got access to those too. It might have been Bon Appetit. Okay. Oof. Too bad I don't have like a steam injector oven because that would have been a free facial right there. And again, just have to ask nicely for a facial from Hawk. Just pick a random recipe. The steam opens your pores, clears your sinuses. What do you think I'm talking about, Robo? It's family friendly in here. It's not. Ooh, rice cooker. But I never use a rice cooker. Because I don't have room for it, like, on my counter. Oh, right. Foamy yeast. So I can add my salt. And this is coarse salt, so I'm using a pretty generous amount. If you're using, like, the really fine iodized salt, well, the yeast is already activated. It's fine. If you're using the really fine activated, or really fine, like, iodized salt, you would use less of it because it is saltier salt. And then I love recipes like this because it's really just a ratio. It's 2.5 cups of water and 5 cups of flour. That's actually the same ratio, I think. It's not quite the same. It couldn't be the same ratio as puff pastry because that's a much drier dough. It's 2 cups to 5 cups for puff pastry. When I'm being real quick and dirty. And I don't have any convenient spatulas. Have you been to my stream before, CL? It's good enough. We're not being fancy. This is something anyone can do. It's just dump and go. And so I'm just giving it a little stir. I don't need to knead. I don't need to dump it out onto the... Well, I am going to dump it on the board briefly. But all I'm doing is just bringing all the flour into one, they call it shaggy looking ball of dough. No, we are hygienic here, Robo. Although I might have scratched my face earlier and not washed my hands, but usually I'm right on top of that. Okay, and because I don't want to get any more dishes dirty than necessary, I am going to, well, let's see. I want a more neutral oil for this one because I'm going to use this for like jam because I have tons of jam. And I'm just going to pour some oil directly on my cutting board because my board needs to be oiled anyway. And dump my dough ball, my shaggy ball, right onto there. Rod, what are you doing? Bringing this lovely community of people into my little cozy stream. My hands are dirty, or I would welcome you properly. So give me a sec. That's not the real washing, that's just the washing because, oh no. Welcome in, Where Lycanthrope. Thank you for the follow. Clay just came over here to give me a high five. Which, that was a discussion with Rod the other day. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you again for the follow, Turbid Pumpkin. Thank you so much for the gift sub to Rod Teo. Okay, I poured some oil into my bowl. I'm going to flip this dough back in to my bowl and cover it. I'm goodness. I'm almost there. I just gotta get this in the fridge. Covered it in the fridge. And then I can say hello to the wonderful beans that Rod brought to my kitchen. Robo, if you could please give Rod Shark a shout out. Absolutely lovely shark. Shorka. Rod Shark the Shorka. Been streaming. I thought he was done with Celeste, but I guess there were more levels to do. How did it show? What? What happened? What happened there? That was weird. How somehow it shouted out Rod, or it shouted out Robo instead. Anyway, thank you. I'm just covering my bread with some bees wrap and putting it in the fridge to rise overnight, which I did for the first batch. And then I will bake this tomorrow, but now I have to find room in here. I'm hearing dings. I love dings. I should have made Clay come in and do this for me. It's too late. It's already done. Clay came to help, but it's too late. Haha. Okay. Ah. There it is. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much again, Rod, for the raid. I love and appreciate you and your community. Sponsor Lawnmower 3.0 for the Shaggy Ball. Goodness. Okay, we've just been making... sorry. Thank you for the follow, War Commander. Welcome in. Okay, my name is Warren, or Quake is my persona. I am a gay variety streamer who lives in California, and today is Thursday in the kitchen. This is Quake's Bakes. We are making bread and salad and cake. Because we are hungry. Rod will give all the high fives to everyone. We're covering... Oh, goodness. High five, cover me in chocolate. Yes, the chocolate is not quite baked yet. Goodness. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Hello, Satsuna. Welcome in. Okay, caught up. Something's behind. What's behind? Something broke. It was behind. Yes, live stream. I don't boycott high fives. I just think that you need to like have a reason for it. So like every time Rod beats a Kaizo level because they're super difficult and it's an accomplishment, definitely high five deserving. No one clip that so you can high five me later. It's not allowed. But yes, today is regular Thursday in the kitchen. We are baking and preparing salads, and I also do video games and board games on other days, and I'm planning on doing some sort of painting stream later. Hello, Ava. Welcome. I'm going back to... Oh, goodness. There's... How many squats did I miss? Just 30. Okay. Great. What was I doing? Okay. I need to clean up a little bit. I can squat as I clean, and then I have to figure out what I was doing and get back into the groove. That was only 4. 40? Oh my goodness. Well, that's 5 out of 40. I didn't set a timer. I put my bread in the oven and didn't set a timer. Goodness. Let's set 21 minutes. That should be about right. Okay, let's just bust these out. I do have the T-Rexercise shirt on. That's 20. 30. Those are all Teos. I'm too short. I can't hit the ceiling. I got shorty legs. I got no hops. Okay. And then I was just gonna make a simple caprese. We're going real simple today. Everything has like 5 ingredients. Just gotta figure out how to open this cheese. And it's a lovely time for fresh garden tomatoes, fresh farmers market tomatoes. We've got a few from the garden. They're not huge. You Caprese? What? Oh. I got it. Took me a sec. That wasn't me just dropping a tomato in my bread bowl over here. Let me get that out of the way so you can see what's going on. Nice and simple. Well, hello, Taylor. Welcome in. I know there's no more tomatoes. That's why I didn't ask for any tomatoes. Mark went out to check the garden, but there was nothing there. Just cutting the tops off with my dull knife. I recommend not using dull knives. Yeah, and everything today is pretty much a clay favorite. I'm going to do wedges because my knife is not quite sharp enough to do nice thin slices. He's asking me about using a mandolin, but that's not what I'm doing tonight. A whetstone? I don't have a whetstone. I know. I do have this thing, but I'm already in the middle of doing stuff. I also have one of these things. This should help a little bit. Always angle the knife away from yourself. I've seen chefs who do this way, and I'm like, how are you not just slicing yourself all the time? Yes, I do have one Cutco knife. It's actually a really nice knife, honestly. It's actually great for slicing tomatoes. I don't know why I'm not using it. Now that I think about it. Yeah, I know. I watched his whole presentation, and then I bought a knife. And it's a nice knife. It's got good serration, and it actually makes nice slices of tomato. Except these are small and difficult to work with. I say it works really nicely, and then I go on to butcher the first tomato because I've already cut them all in half. That one's better. So anyway, slice your tomatoes however you like to slice them. Doesn't matter. Where's top knives? Oh, the sound of the sharpening? Did it come through pretty good? And besides, I need to use that other knife for the basil anyway. And so I'm just gonna kind of stack up my basil like so. Give it a roll. And slice through. And then you have these nice ribbons of basil. And if Mark wants to type it out, it's called a chiffonade. Let's see if he can spell it. He missed it. And then I'm just gonna kind of tear pieces of the mozzarella ball. I do really like the big creamy buffalo mozz for this. It is worth any gastric distress because it is so tasty. I would not use shredded mozz for this. Just does not have the right texture for this kind of stuff. I should put the basil on top of that, but whatever. That was in a groove. It tastes the same. Just looking at my bread and seeing if it's ready. Yes, please, come eat. There is so much. Speaking of flake salt, I will now use the flake salt on this that I wasn't using on the focaccia. Because it's lemon flake salt and I didn't want that flavor in my focaccia since I'd already used a bunch of other stuff. And then of course your favorite balsamic. I'm going to use some of this because it is a little bit cheaper as like a base. And then we've got some nicer, thicker balsamic. Illegal salt in a baggie. It's salt in a baggie because I ordered it from a local spice shop. I don't want to kill you. I just want to entice you. And then I'm just going to drizzle some of this thicker balsamic on top. Because it'll stick to it better. Oh my goodness, Taylor. Thank you so much for that gifted sub to Bosa. Oh, pepper. Pepper's also good. And again, it's like 5 ingredients, as long as you don't count salt and pepper. And that's it. That's the whole salad. It's done. And now Mark is in theory playing mini golf. But I just made him this salad. He's distracted. So I guess I'm gonna eat the salad. I said don't count the salt and pepper CL. Because that's basil, tomato, mozz, balsamic. Even 2 kinds of balsamic counts as 1 balsamic, because I'm just doing it to... That's still 5, because you don't count the salt and pepper. I am still within my rights to say 5 ingredients. Anyway, this is ready, and I'm going to have a bite. Boop. Oh, yes. I did put on the follower cooldown for safety in these times. Oh no! You kissed... My head is sweaty, and you kissed it. There's the salt. Don't need salt if you have forehead sweat. He is adorable, ooh, and might be getting some art done. We'll see. We've got to brainstorm it. I have an artist working on a ref sheet for Quake over here. I've definitely done that before, though. Lycanthrope. Joining someone's stream and then having to wait 10 minutes to have that raid message go off. So that is gonna sit there and be ready to go. Still have 9 minutes on that bread. That seems like too much. Oh, I can make whipped cream now. That's what I can do. Yes, it is nice going to the local market, the local farmers market, getting some produce. Come on. And of course we need this to be extra thick because it's going to go on hot cake. I don't want it to just melt immediately. Thank you for the follow, Weregare. And welcome in. Oh my goodness, and I completely forgot about like a new follower question and any of that good stuff. Thank you for the follow, Darius. Welcome in for those new followers. Please let me know, what is your favorite baked good or favorite thing to eat, but baked good, something in the kitchen. Favorite foods in general. Look, it's another under 5 ingredients thing. Carbs. Delicious carbs. Ooh, apparently I have falafel mix back there. I keep meaning to make falafel. I have not gotten around to it yet. Is steak a baked good? If yes. I don't know if I'm gonna have a photo of just the whipped cream, CL. I'm over here wandering around looking for a whisk. Because this one is like too big for this container. So I'm gonna have to wash a whisk. Wash and dry a whisk. How did I get blue on my hand? there was an open. I touched the top of a thing of food color, and so now I have blue on my hand. Great. But yes, steak can definitely be a baked good. Plenty of carbs today, because cake and bread. Oh my goodness. But yeah, definitely one of the better ways I have made steak is if you'd like a porterhouse. Right? I have a hard time choosing favorites because, I mean, I just like so many things. But yeah, one of my favorite ways to cook a steak, especially if I'm not using the grill, is to just sear a porterhouse on a hot cast iron, and then you cut it off the bone and slice it in pretty thick strips, and then kind of reassemble it against the bone, and then put it in the oven with some butter on top, and rosemary or thyme or whatever your favorite herb is, or garlic or whatever you're seasoning with. And that's one of my favorite ways to cook a steak. Of course, I have not. Steak is a sometimes food because expensive and not great for the environment. So it's kind of a celebration-y food. Try to not have it very often, but do enjoy it. And I'm just realizing, yeah, there's no meat on the menu tonight. I was gonna put some like sliced roast chicken that I had left over with the salad, but it ended up getting eaten for lunch, so I don't have any. Ooh, a barbecue at Mom's house for Labor Day. That sounds amazing. I hope the steaks are great. I hope you have a good drink to pair with them. And there's my done whipped cream. I didn't say anything about meat cake, did I? I did talk about, oh my goodness, if that's Zach's favorite thing to say on my stream. If Plenty of Zach ever comes in, he references, of course, the infamous meat cookies, which were burgers. See if Cielo just hung out for like 4 minutes. He would have had the whipped cream. And let's see, I can pull the cakes out of the fridge now because they are almost ready to bake. It is somewhat. I think I was making shortbread at the time, and I think I was making burgers for dinner that day. And so I was like, oh look, I'm making these cookies, and then I'm making these burgers, which are just also the same shape, so they were meat cookies. Yes, not the best. Oof, okay. My bread is done. And my cakes are in the oven. And they only need 9 minutes. And probably even less than that because I have a convection oven. So, I'm gonna take one out at 8 minutes, and then take the others out like a minute later. And we'll hope it's right. But here's my bread, and it's nice and thick, so you can slice it lengthwise in half, and it's good sandwich bread. It's also going to be good to just cut in chunks and dip into the leftover salad stuff. But let me move my salad. And get this pulled out. And we had so much butter in that tray, but it slid right out. Did not get stuck at all. There's our bread, ready to go, pretty much. And let's see. You could also brush it with garlic butter at this point if you didn't have a bunch of other flavors on it. And it also, you can slice it and store it in the freezer. So when I do that second bake tomorrow, I'm going to have to put half this in the freezer so it doesn't go bad. But let's take a knife to this. That actually worked out really nicely. I am pleased. Ooh, still hot. Very hot. But it's nice and soft, but cooked inside. I am pleased with this. I'm glad, because if I had left it in there any longer, it would have been like burning on top. But there's the focaccia. That was as easy as advertised. I'm surprised. I'm pleased. I will definitely post this recipe. Please follow my YouTube if you want. That's where I archive these recipes, and once I catch up, I will have the recipes posted. I'm really far behind. Please forgive me. But eventually I will get all the recipes posted. I have them all in tabs in my in my browser over here, just waiting for me to actually get my act together and post it up on the YouTube channel. Hello, Vinny. Welcome in. You got here just in time for bread. We made some Caprese earlier, and that is different, and there are cakes coming out of the oven in 5 minutes. So we can just hang out and chat for 5 minutes. As I putter around the kitchen. Hello, Band Geeks. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. I hope your Thursday was great. Police? What am I doing? With the food? The foodgasms? The close-up? What close-up? This? Oh, okay. Which cake? Oh my goodness. I left before I did his squats. I owed him 10 more squats. I am not quite to the point where I can squat and get like my elbows to the ground. That is kind of the goal. Nowhere near there. Well, for Vinny. Poor Vinny. Gotta do it. Did do some arms today. The squats. Woo! The cute tank top. Love it. And it's warm in here because I have the oven on. Right? Me too. It was cute. I kept wearing it for like little bits at a time, and I'm like, no, I gotta take this off so I can wear it on stream. See, I don't know. I don't know if I could get this shirt to bust regardless of how swole I potentially got, just because like most of the parts where you bust the shirt is the arms, and there's no arms on it, so hard to do that. There's still the weighted squats, the gorilla squats. And I could actually do push-ups right now if you really wanted me to, because I'm mostly done with all the food touching with my hands. So I could do one of those if you make me. But we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes on cake, 1 minute. Well, let's see. I said I was going to pull one right now. Oop, nope, that is still not set on the sides, so I'm going to leave that in there. That is the real test. It should not be jiggly still. I am glad I could motivate you to go and cook yourself something delicious, Turbid. I hope you make some bread and are super successful and post pics of it, because I want to see your bread. Oh, goodness. You too. Thank you for coming in and following, and I appreciate it. Oh, I apparently didn't put a cooldown timer on the gorilla squats, so those can go. Those can go nice and quick, like. At least it makes Teo use up his points. At 2 minutes. 2 minutes to do 20 squats. It's plenty of time. Actually have a dessert in mind when you redeem that, Teo, because none of this redeem and then do a thing. The whole point of you redeeming that is so I don't have to think about it. Tan. Oof. Ah. Oh, there we go. That's actually work. Goodness. 200 pounds. I was going this low. Okay. No, they're still not set. You lied to me, recipe. Saying 10 minutes to cook. Yeah, 390 degrees. That's correct. I am upset with this recipe now. Just 5 stars. I disagree. Especially with that hour of, I mean, it was nice and chilled when it went in the oven like it wanted me to have it. But now it's taking forever to bake. Which is fine. I want it to bake as long as it needs. But I don't want to expect it in 10 minutes and then have it take closer to 20. I got stuff to do. People to see. I don't. I can look around and plan and see who's online to see who is readable tonight. And of course, every time I open the oven, it gets cooler, which means it's gonna take longer. I'm gonna stop yelling at the oven. Yelling at the recipe. That's not a cozy stream. Okay, these are gonna need significantly longer. Put them on for another 5, because they just keep going. They're still jiggly. Teo, figure out what sorts of things are in season, and that's going to be your best option for a baked good. I mean, you could also redeem, like, any sort of recipe. Jason said he was saving up to have me make this weird, like, lamb-shaped meatloaf abomination. So, I mean, find something interesting. It doesn't have to be dessert. And I know how you are with dessert. Like, you have no impulse control. I send Teo home with desserts, and he eats them all, like, the first day. Yeah, it's gotta be something different, or something that I can make alongside something else. And it could be like some sort of fancy pie. There's a billion types of pies out there. So it could be... doesn't have to be a fruit pie. It could be... I mean, I've done meringue plenty of times, so it could be like a meringue top pie or a custard pie, or like I didn't do a full cheesecake, I don't think. That's a pie technically. So I mean, just use your imagination. Ooh, I am sweaty. My goodness. Let's not put my sweaty love handles in the camera. Fan Geeks. Have I made tiramisu? If I had a Stream Deck, I would hit the button for the close-up. I don't. I should. Have I made tiramisu? Yes. My one of my coworkers told me that I made the best tiramisu he'd ever had. Which, of course, I don't know if that's like coworker hyperbole and he's being nice, but he would ask for it anytime when I used to like take food to the office when there was like people working together in the office. So yes. I will have to find it. I have it stored. I think I have it on my Google Drive, so I will have to find it. But I do make the ladyfingers myself, which are fun, and it's really simple. Again, like simple things are easiest for me to do and be consistent at. I would have to like double the amount of whipped cream because I always like am short on whipped cream for that, which is fun. I have made macarons 4 or 5 times. They have been successful one of those times. But I've been talking with another baking streamer, and she made them successfully on stream, and she made the kind... our local Trader Joe's has mascarpone usually, so that's where I get it. But I don't know what part of the world you're in, so hard to steer you anywhere. Hey, Puzzled Monkey Tree. Welcome in. We are waiting for these cakes that are taking much longer than they said they would to bake. But yeah, I've made macarons successfully one time. I saw someone make them with Italian meringue instead of French meringue. And she said that when you do it that way, you don't have to let them sit out and form a skin for a half an hour. So she was able to do them on stream without just like having a half hour of wait time. So I should try that. Oh, I can smell my cakes now, which is good. There we go. That is the appropriate amount of jiggle. Before, when I was pulling them out, they were loose and gooey. These are now just quivering a little bit. Let them sit there briefly, and then turn one out. Any leftovers? Yes, we're not eating 6 cakes today. Probably gonna eat 1 cake today. I actually need to figure out some like real dinner because I can't just eat bread and tomatoes for dinner. I mean, I could, absolutely could, but okay. Let's bring ourselves a cake over. Put a plate on top. And do a flip. There is cheese. Boop. And that probably could have sat in there a little bit. But that is my... I left... Oh my goodness. I left a little bit of my cake top in the pan. So you can see my molten center. That's my molten center right there. So we know I did it. There's our little sugar dust. And some nice thick whipped cream. And there is our done cake. Woo! And cut it open, and it flows. And hopefully it tastes good. And honestly, you can't really go wrong, because it's just cake and it's just chocolate and cream, honestly, and it's delicious. So, make sure your oven is on convection if you want your cakes to bake in close to the time that is listed. Because I figured out that that's what I had done. I had turned it off convection when I changed the temperature from the bread. And now that it's done, I'm going to eat some real food before I eat a bunch of sugar, or else I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be jittery and everywhere. Ooh, and that little bit of espresso powder in there makes it just real nice. That's it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, Rod, for the raid, and Teo for gifting sub. Teo and Taylor for gifting subs. I love seeing all of you. I will be back sometime this weekend to play, I hope, a new game that I'm very excited for. It came out full release, unlike the other game that I started, which is still in alpha. So I'm very excited to play it, and I hope you will be excited to watch. We're gonna raid Prickly. Let's raid Prickly. I've never had a chance to raid Prickly before. Prickly is playing Dark Souls. New board game today. Well, we will have to play a board game sometime. There is a raid message for subs and a raid message for... Raid 2 is for subs, Raid 1 is for followers. Please go in, be kind, show Prickly some love, and please make yourself some cake and salad and bread and post pictures, because I want to see it, and I know that whatever you make, it's going to be good enough to eat. I will see you next time.
Fantastic, rate at 10. Hello, welcome in. I'll be with you guys in just a minute. I'm attempting to get a hug from this demon. I didn't jump right like I wanted to.